guys, so today we are looking at the stats that you want to be using for playing a Guardian, defensively or sportively. First of all, we're going to jump right in with the 6 pieces of armour that you wear. The Nomad inscription is the type of armour that you want to be working with, focusing on toughness as the max stat out of the 3, followed by the 2 minor stats of vitality and healing power. Now, obviously this is Guardian, and it's all about playing defensively and sportively. So we are never really focusing on doing damage. Now, I prefer to play as, an unkillable machine that just constantly heals and constantly provides defense to my allies, as well as, never really dying. With that said, the vitality stat you could replace with condition damage as, every so often, given your virtue of justice, you'll be burning 4s, and with the 21 and 3/4 cooldown, you can be burning 4s directly for almost twice the damage, as well as giving allies 5 of them all doing a burning stack. So if there's at least 5 people in your party and none of them do burning damage, then every 22 pretty much seconds you can all be stacking at least an extra 6 stacks of burning, which is currently the highest ticking damage condition in the game. But I like to have vitality personally. My health at the moment is only 16,000, and switching over to mace through specialisation I have about 17,000. So the runes, also if you do want Nomad's inscription, you're going to have to craft your armour or find someone else to craft the armour, because the combination of toughness, vitality and healing power doesn't exist anywhere else in the game. And if we go over to Drytop, we go over here to Drytop entry waypoint. Just around there where my personal waypoint is a merchant which sells you the inscription, and the inscription you will be wanting to look for is the Nomad's intricate gossamer insignia. Typical 5 bolts of gossamer for the exact one, 20 spools of gossamer thread, 5 ectos and 5 sheets of amberite. Now, I'm an armor smith, so if I really wanted to, I could craft the amberite, which you get 25 pieces of amberite, which you can get by salvaging the amberite that you'll probably get tons of in both Drytop and Silver Wastes. Now, the quartz crystals are harder to come by. You can either purchase them or mine them, or if you have a home instance with a home quartz node, you can get a bunch of them. But personally, just for the price, they're really cheap. They're like a silver or something for a few. So that's what you've got to do. Like you can see at the top there, toughness, healing and vitality. You're going to want to be using that with whatever else you want to be crafting, and that's just for the armour. Now, the rune on the armour you want to have was water, because we're focusing on healing people and supporting them. Now, stats wise, you get a solid extra 175 healing, which you can see from having 1 out of 6, 3 out of 6 and 5 out of 6. That's good, but then you get the extra 20% boon duration by having 2 and 6. out of 6, which you can see over here for Guardians. Boon duration, which basically means that whenever you apply a boon to an ally, you know, you're getting extra ticks, you're getting 20% extra ticks. So as you can see, save yourself, usually probably about 10 seconds of each of those. With this rune you get 12 seconds, so it does add up. Not to mention that the 4 out of 6 you get the 25% chance struck to remove a condition. It does have a 30 second internal cooldown, but you know, fighting mobs, you're trying to get rid of conditions yourself. But that provides even further condition removal. And also the 6th out of 6, you basically heal a bunch of allies around you for a small amount when using a healing spell. That only is affected by your number 6 heal, your literal one and only main heal. Any other spells that provide healing are no longer affected. So it's like an extra 1 or 2k or something. It's nothing major, but they're the best runes that I run with personally. For the weapons, I have toughness once again on the Flameseeker prophecy as the main stat, and toughness again on left paws, flangs, mace. Now, I traded out vitality for condition damage, as I was mentioning earlier, just to give it a little bit of an extra boost of damage. Because supporting your allies isn't just playing defensively, it's also about playing offensively, by doing a little bit of extra damage yourself and playing in such a playstyle that you focus on empowering your allies. So Staff, for instance, has Empower to give an extra 12 might stacks, and then followed by using Save Yourself and give that 13 might stacks. And another way to play offensively, I use the Signet of Courage, because not so much the activation, because it's like 3-minute cooldown and it takes quite a while to cast. It's like 4 and a bit seconds. But the passive, I found, just really works well for me. Every 10 seconds it's healing for about 1400 when I'm not doing anything. You know, I could be stunned, I could be downed, I could be feared, it's still going to heal. But if you swap over to using Feel My Wrath, that only takes a quarter of a second to use with a 30-second cooldown. Its radius is 600 yards, which is quite good. It can affect up to 5 allies, and for 12 seconds you get Fury, and for 6 seconds you get Quickness, so that's another way to play it offensively. But, you know, like I said, at the moment I stick with Signet of Courage. But you tend to change your playstyle slightly to adjust to the situation, depending, you know, if your group needs more defense, maybe in high level fractals or in zergs, and then there's times where maybe you're doing certain PvE content, or you've just got a really good group that you know that can sustain themselves with the help of you, so you can play a little bit more offensively. But the main stats that you do want to be looking for is toughness is the main one. As you can see over here, my toughness is 2209 with the mace. It's only 2130 with the staff, but the specialisation I'll cover in the next video, or the next one after that, about why although you no longer gain stats from specialisation, there are certain increases that using certain weapons for a Guardian, for instance, can give benefits to. So yeah, 2209 toughness with the current gear that I've got. It's not all maxed out, it's not the perfect gear that I've got at the moment, I haven't finished it. You know, I've got signets with, you know, like healing power is the top one on that. I'd prefer it to be toughness. But then I've got things like, preserve red iris. I can't spell. Iris flower, where the top one is healing power again, but it's even got power in there instead of vitality. So I'm not finished polishing off this character. But the gist of things is that toughness is the main stat you want to go for, because that just reduces blunt damage flat out. Doesn't affect condition damage, but it does affect blunt damage, which is probably the thing that will most likely kill you. Obviously you got the healing power there, as I've been explaining, is obviously incredibly useful. The amount of spells that in the next video I'll be discussing weapon choices and how to use those weapons along with your utilities, elite and healing spell to provide the most effective gameplay for both defensive support and offensive support. So remember, being a Guardian tanky kind of build that I'm currently using, it's not just about, oh, I do absolutely no damage. You do a little bit of damage, and every little bit of damage helps, but there comes a time when 5 berserkers just ain't really what it's going to cut. Level 40, 50 plus fractals, you need a good Guardian to help support you. Zergs, if you're just going to run over and provide pure offense to a group, there could be 30 of your team, all berserkers, so not much defense, not much health, pretty weak. Probably not going to be particularly dodging a lot and rolling out the way of things and teleporting away, teleporting forwards, placing down barriers, things like that. A lot of Zergs aren't about that. It's about being a train, charging onto another train, and essentially in that scenario, if you've got 30v30 of pure DPS, really, chances are it's probably just going to be the people with better gear. Whereas if you take away, say, 5 DPS and stick 5, good supportive classes in, engineer, guardian, elementalist, things like that. Certain necro types, the blood one, that's become a new thing. Shout warriors, stuff like that. Even though you lack a little bit more DPS, the fact that you have so much healing and defensive capabilities that the other guys don't, you can survive through them, but they can't survive through your other 25 people killing them. So, that's how you can look at yourself as being a significant tool, really, to other people. Not just for Zergs, we're talking dungeons as well, or boss fights, where there's a large scale people, and the more people there are, the better it tends to be. If there's just like 1 or 2 of you like soloing around doing quests and stuff, this build really isn't for that. It's really for like group fight and group content. So just bear that in mind, guys. But yeah, like I was saying, quick recap. Toughness is the main stat you want. You want the highest of that, followed by healing power is the second one, which is most important to you. Vitality is the last one, which could be switched for condition damage if you want to do a little bit of extra burning, for instance. Definitely got to have those water runes. Also, when it comes to sigils aren't that important, really, for the ones that I use. I haven't even finished mine off, but you definitely have to have the sigil of life to give an extra 10 plus healing power every time you kill a foe, which could eventually max give you 250 extra healing power on top of what you already have. Obviously in Zerg, killing enemies, you're only going to get 125 extra healing power, but that's a lot. That's like 1.5 extra items by just having a sigil. I choose to have swiftness, sigil of speed, just because 20 seconds of swiftness on killing a foe it's good. We've already got our shouts for save yourself, and if you really want, you could switch your stand your ground with retreat to give more swiftness, and obviously your symbol of swiftness on a 12-second cooldown can give you speed as well. But that's about it, to be honest. focus on healing, focus on toughness, focus on vitality and or condition damage, you need the 6 runes of the water, and you just want to be focusing on providing as much healing power, block, reflects, protection, retaliation to your allies, while at the same time, you know, removing conditions and healing them. So that's what this video is about, guys. Next video I'll be doing is regarding the weapons at the bottom here: mace, shield, focus and staff. I will be discussing how to use them, when to use them, why to use them, as long as the healing skill number 6 and the current typical utilities that I've run with, and other ones that may come in handy in certain situations, and then finally discussing the elite. And then after that I'll be talking about the specializations, and then finally concluding it with the mindset that you want to have in order to drive this build and make it be as effective as it can be. So hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.